It's necessary.
For the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Start the Broadwater County Commissioner meeting for March 9th, 2015. Start off with public comment, around 10 minutes, and the Commissioner community update. Do we have any public comment? Brenda?
I would like to start out, Brenda Ludwig, as resident of Broadwater County, taxpayer of Broadwater County. I would like to ask the board, as an individual, why my name is listed in a lawsuit with Broadwater County. As Brenda Ludwig, I've never filed a lawsuit against Broadwater County. Your agenda refers to me as Brenda Ludwig lawsuit against Broadwater County. This information in your agenda has caused me nothing but hardship as an individual. So first off, I would like to ask the board why it's listed on your agenda as Brenda Ludwig.
It should not be listed that way. I didn't know until it was brought to my attention also. It should be in,
I think it's been there forever and a day, to be honest.
No, it hasn't.
Hasn't it?
No, and I'd like to know who listed me as Brenda Ludwig as an individual.
I don't know,
No.
Elaine or Laura. Come on through.
Because as an individual, I've been stopped many times in the public as a citizen, asking me why I'm, as an individual, suing the county. I have never filed a lawsuit against the county as an individual.
Yes, absolutely.
I will say, Chairman, as chairman, you have been taking the reins of the agenda and approving it without sharing it with Elaine or I. This rests on you.
Oh, well, oh boy, I get. I paying attention to all this stuff is down at the bottom there usually, but there it is. That's absolutely false, and I think the county needs to give an apology and list something in the papers to counteract that these decisions was been coming against you on this here.
I'm just telling you guys right now that it's caused me a lot of hardship in the community, and I've worked hard for a good name in this community for the past 20-plus years. So,
Absolutely.
you might want to look over your agendas before you've been posting it, and I have been talking to the county attorney about it, so.
Okay.
It's funny that you guys can put something on the agenda and nobody knows what goes on.
Roger Halbert, another citizen. Well, let's do some problem solving here. Sheriff, how would you like it listed?
Mr. Halverson, I am not here as the sheriff today. I'm here just as you are as a citizen.
Brenda Ludwig, is it? How would you like it listed then on
I would not like it listed because, have you ever filed a lawsuit against the county
that?
as a citizen? Neither have I. It should not even be on there.
Well, it has to be defined as something. How would you like it defined?
It should not be on there. It's not, I have not filed a lawsuit on there.
There was a lawsuit filed by the sheriff's office against the county, which is completely different. It was not Brenda Ludwig, the citizen.
Then we solved it, Frank. Then we list it as sheriff's office lawsuit because.
That's the way it's been. That's the way it was on there at one time on,
No, I don't think so. I think it's always there just like this. But it needs to be taken care of.
absolutely.
And I guess that falls on you as chairman to do that.
Okay, and get a response back then. I mean, if she's been
It
beat
has,
down by the public,
it has actually been listed on the agenda that way since January 5, 2015.
We settled the sheriff's office lawsuit in December, and it wasn't listed like that.
That's when it was dropped down to the information below. It was removed from the agenda item and put down into items for further discussion. And when it was done there, it must have been changed.
Actually, I only go back in my agendas to December 22, and it was there on the bottom of that. So I believe it was actually there, worded differently prior to that time. But I think it was a starting date. But the current verbiage is from January 5.
I addressed the issue prior to that, when you listed my personal room.
I recall that in one of the meetings when you did that. What, your idea for review, Elaine?
Well, as chairman, you're the one that sets the agenda. Take care of it.
Oh, it'll be off there, definitely. But I mean, for the apology for the problem that it's caused her.
Let me think about that. I'm working on that.
Okay. We'll get something taken care of on that. Sheriff?
She's not the sheriff.
She's not the sheriff.
She's here as a citizen.
I still call her as the sheriff. Anyway, any other public comment?
The sheriff.
I
Joe?
brought up last week on moving down to the commissioner's office because of the way to get in and out of the, how many steps it takes, because the elevator would not be working if we have a fire. I just wanted to bring it up again. I think it would be safer for us.
Right. Thank you. Any other comments? On minutes or any community updates? You have anything?
Community updates, I've been in the hospital and at the doctor, so that's what I've been doing. But I do have a Montana Minute. A very, very dear friend had a stroke, same age as me, this weekend and passed away. And so I just asked for prayers for that family.
You're talking about Mary Curra.
She was our maid
Anybody
of
here?
honor when we got married.
Knows her here, but she was you're in Judy's class.
Right, she was in our class. So, kind of a shock when it's somebody your same age that checks out.
Yes.
Do you know when services will be?
Friday at 10:30 at Catholic Church.
Thanks.
And then they'll go to Holy Cross Cemetery and then come back to church for refreshments.
Montana Minute, on another note, I want to honor Jackie Kynette. We had the Leprechaun Festival for the hospital this weekend. It's the hospital auxiliary. And she, for years, even now that she's ill, has put her heart and soul into the hospital auxiliary and the folks at the nursing home. She does a phenomenal job. She's known statewide for her dedication, even though I don't think she hears that enough. So I just want to give a shout out and support to Jackie Kynette as another one of our tremendous citizens. And as far as the community update, a lot of meetings last week, and the Leprechaun Festival. There is something I want to talk to you guys about whenever it fits on the agenda. Since we're pretty close to 10:15, I'll just wait until we have a spare moment.
Do we have a good turnout?
Great. I think we had record turnout. I don't know how much was raised yet. The money, of course, goes to hospital equipment, upkeep, that kind of thing. But we had more food than ever before and ran out. So that's a good sign. It's a good problem to have. And it was a beautiful day.
I agree.
Nice.
Jackie has done real good with the patients and the rest of them for several years now.
Bob's mother and my mother both spent time there before they passed. She was there then and did a great job.
Really good. Some little something to go with the scene, right, for people in there. And, safety meeting, but there wasn't, it was canceled and there was 5 or 6 showed up, I guess. Maybe that was canceled,
Why was it canceled?
because there's nobody there to, anyone that the chairman or vice chairman's, so it was canceled.
It actually was not canceled, if I may correct. It was a shortened meeting that we did not address any issues.
Okay.
I had a good excuse.
So did I, unfortunately.
Any more comments? A little heavier.
No, not.
Which one we going? Okay, we're going by, okay, we'll go by that one then. Okay, call it a 10:15. Brian Hone, waste supervisor monthly update.
Morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
I do have a couple of members of my solid waste board here to give me a little backup on this. What this is a proposal
Thank you.
on a way to handle solid waste fee assessment for mobile homes. What I've been doing the last couple of months is I went through the real property tax roll and looked for properties that were not being assessed solid waste fees. What I found is about $38,000 worth of fees that have never been assessed on properties that range anywhere from probably 1 year old to 10 or 12 years old. That's a significant problem to us as a department. That means people have been throwing their trash away for a number of years without paying anything for it, and we can't have that. So what we've done to correct that problem is I went through the tax rolls, updated the ones I could find now. I'll continue to do that process on an ongoing basis. When I find them, I'll have them assessed. The other thing that I've done is get a hold of the sanitarian and got her septic permit list for the last couple of years to make sure that those septic tanks that have been installed, if there's houses associated with them, we will get fees assessed onto them sooner than they have in the past. The other issue that came up in that is mobile homes. Mobile homes are taxed as personal property. They're not taxed as real property. There's no way of mapping mobile homes, so I don't know where they're at. All I know is they're in the county somewhere. They've been licensed here one time or whatever. There's a significant number of those that do not have solid waste fees associated with them. or
Are they even
assessed.
on the tax rolls?
They're on the mobile home tax rolls, but some have been assessed fees, some have not. There's instances where a mobile home sits on a piece of property and the property has been assessed fees. That creates an issue. We have a proposal here on the way to handle that. What our board is talked about is to assess every mobile home one solid waste unit of fees. There will be a notice put on the tax bill that goes out with those that says, this is what we've done. We've assessed solid waste fees to mobile homes, 1 unit per mobile home. If you believe you are being double taxed, if it's on the property and the mobile home, get a hold of us, we'll look at it, we'll correct it. The mobile home owners will be able to check if they're double billed. I know there's one that will. We've already dealt with one. Penny Matson had a situation where that was happening. We'll investigate them, we'll correct them, we'll put them where they want it, if they want it on the property or they want it on the mobile home. I don't care, but they need to pay solid waste fees. What we brought this to you guys for is to see if it's something that's acceptable to you. If it is, we will present it to Department of Revenue and move forward with that.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I think myself, and I'm sure the rest of the board says, hats off to you guys for doing this. That's money that our county could be using for other things, so, good
Well,
job,
it's money the solid waste department can be using.
That's
for other
right.
things.
good job.
Well, I wonder why it was, missed, why it wasn't assessed when those, taxes went out.
Well, the problem you have is your mobile home may have a post office box, so we have no idea where it's located. Because they may have a mailing address for the post office box within the county. Therefore, you don't know the location of the mobile home. So by generating this tax, put it on their tax rolls, it's gonna generate a phone call. We're gonna find out where the mobile home is.
Well, on their taxes, does it not show that that trailer is sitting whatever section, township and range?
Oh, no,
And
'cause
block?
it's not real
Mobile homes.
property. It has wheels, a lot of them have wheels, it's not real property. It's a personal property like your vehicle,
Like
so you can park
out
it
here
anywhere you
at,
want.
Mountain View Trailer Park,
Mhm.
there's 70-some trailers in that park. We may get solid waste fees from 30 of them.
Not even half.
So the others are just sitting there generating garbage without paying for it. So this was the easiest solution we could come up with. Now, they may choose not to pay their taxes. That's not really my issue. That's something else. In the discussions with this, I've asked the question of many people, who's responsible to check that box that says this property gets solid waste fees? And I've been told it's my job. I said, well,
How
So
can
I-
we reach-
I had to come up with a way to figure out how to do that. I don't have the ability to check that box that says assess solid waste fees. The only thing I can do is tell Department of Revenue, this property needs to have solid waste fees assessed to it. So what I did is went through the tax rolls, all 2,300 pages worth. Like I said, I found, it's 300 and some properties that have had no solid waste fees associated with them. Or minimal solid waste fees. One of the big things I found was, and this is probably gonna bubble to the top, is on rental properties, like fourplexes and apartment buildings. I found fourplexes that were being charged $3.84 for solid waste fees, or $5.20 for solid waste
When
fees.
did they come up with that figure?
I have no idea.
You know, this had been done by the Department of Revenue?
At some point, yes. I think what had happened is they had been in discussion with the owner of the property or whatever, and they said, we need 5 units, or we need 3.84 units, or we need 4 units, or whatever it was. And instead of being charged 4 units, they were just charged $4 for solid waste fees. It only took going through the tax rolls and looking to be able to find that. And it wasn't, I think it was something to do with rental properties specifically, because I found a lot of them. So there's probably gonna be some landlords that are upset, but my answer to that is, well, you've been undercharged for how many years? Do you want us to go back and charge you the correct amount for the whole time? Or do you just wanna start paying this now and go forward?
You know what the answer is. Simple brainer.
So, that's been a big issue that will definitely help out our department.
It's also an equity issue. Everybody should be paying the same for using the same services.
Yeah, and it's, mobile homes are, ranchers use them to house their hired help, that kind of thing. Some of them pay for them, some of them don't. So that's another way to bring them into the loop.
So if I had a fourplex, we'll say, shouldn't the owner of that fourplex be charged for 4 units?
Yes. Some owners of fourplexes will say, give me 5 units because I might have some extra trash.
Good.
See, I paid trash solid waste fees in Helen. I have a fourplex. So I could pay for 4 units. Then in Helena, they give you a tag that allows you to take other trash to the transfer case. But yes, I don't get a break because I have 4 people, or 4 families.
One of the-
And 1 resident.
One of the big ones I found, kind of is a double-edged sword for me, it's the Rocky Mountain Development Council's Towns and Housing down there. They had no solid waste fees charged to them. That's 16 apartments that were getting by with nothing. So when I called up my boss at Rocky Mountain and said, by the way, it's gonna cost you another $2,400 for this property next year. They said, oh, we'll have to deal with that. So it's, you know, it affects everybody, but it's the right way to do it.
And then on with the trailers, if you go through the website, what looks at the property and looks at improvements on the property, they don't show a mobile home. That's personal property, just like they don't show your vehicles. When they take pictures of your property, they show your house and your outbuildings. But they don't list what personal property that's licensed through the state and the county. So we have no idea.
And the cadastral system does not map them. So if you, it'll show up as a listing for that person, but if you click on it to map it so you can see what it kind of looks like, it says this property cannot be mapped. So then you go and you look on another piece of property that shows you the area, and you may be able to pick out a mobile home on that. A good example is one lot here in town, has 7 mobile homes on it.
One lot?
One lot. The only way I can find out if those people pay solid waste fees is to find out who lives in those trailers and if they own them, or find the owner of those trailers to see if they're paying solid waste fees. I checked with the city, they charge fees, their garbage service fees, to 7 different people. But I don't know if solid waste fees are being charged to all of them. The ones I know who own them, I can find out, but the other ones I can't.
I'd say you got your work cut out for you.
Well, this will generate a few phone calls, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's necessary though. I mean, it's another example of some long-term history that you're fixing. So thank you for that also.
If I'm gonna move a mobile home, I have to come to the courthouse, to the treasurer's office to get a sticker that says that the taxes are completely paid for. That doesn't show up at all, huh?
No. Mobile homes are a sticky wicket.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that they were essential.
Question,
Roger.
Roger Halbert. First off, Brian, you're doing just an excellent job with this. Just excellent. Basically, what you're doing is auditing and identifying these. My question to the commission is there anybody on staff here who can come along beside Brian and help him and design this audit program and help him identify these properties?
The issue is up to the revenue.
They aren't gonna do it.
No, we've had,
Their answer would have
We had a
been
meeting
a
with
stack
them.
of paper this high that was worthless.
See, in our meeting with them, they alluded to that they don't have authority to assess solid waste. So we're to always keep asking who has authority within the county to have that authority. And so Brian's bringing it up to you and say, who has authority in the county to decide when we assess fees to a property or personal property? And right now, it's following.
We have resolutions that say we have the ability to assess fees to residential and commercial properties. I would say mobile homes fall in as residential properties, and you live in them, so it's a residence, we can charge it a fee.
But it still has to go through revenues to have it on the.
But revenue just does the taxes. They don't assess fees. If we take this to them and said, this is our policy, if somebody comes in with a new mobile home they can say, oh, we need to assess solid waste fees to that. That's what the question I have here today is this memo from our board good enough for that?
But didn't Judy mention at the solid waste meeting that she needed a resolution?
She has resolutions.
She has them, okay. Then, I would suggest that we start with this. If we get pushback from, Department of Revenue, then we can meet with them one-on-one in a meeting, public meeting, and find out exactly what it is that they're looking for. This should be fine. I think what they were looking for was point it out to us and give us the authority to do our job. I think this does that.
Yeah, we have resolutions that say we will charge solid waste fees to residents and businesses.
Would it help if we all three signed on the bottom of that?
It wouldn't
More
hurt.
teeth?
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
I suggest we do that, to give it more teeth.
And to get to that point, I will move that we adopt the solid waste fee assessment on mobile homes as presented by the solid waste supervisor.
Second.
Second, we go ahead with the memo on solid waste assessment for mobile homes. Any other discussion? All in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed.
I'll give it mine.
And let us know if you need anything.
Asking you shall receive.
Otherwise, things are going okay in the solid waste world.
Are
We,
they starting to pick up with the weather coming up?
This weekend was very busy. Lawns, you know, with the mild weather we've had in February, people are getting ahead of the game as far as lawn cleanup. So it's been coming in pretty steady. This weekend, we got hit hard. We've generated a lot of tree waste. You know, we can kind of tell what's going on in the outlying areas by what we see in the canisters. Right now, it's calving season, so they're a little they're quiet, not much going on, but we have seen some spring cleanup being done early out there too. You can tell when the twine starts hitting the canisters that spring cleanup is here, and we've seen a fair amount of that.
What is better, twine or the wrap?
I don't like any of it, but bale wrap is terrible.
That's what I figured.
That stuff, that netting,
Mm-hmm.
that goes everywhere. Landfills don't like big balls of twine because they don't compact. It's like running over a boulder with their compactor, it really jars the operator, but they'll deal with it. We did look at one time about looking at recycling twine. There's a company that does it, but they like it clean and they like it.
No hay leaves, please, huh?
Well, you can have a certain percentage of garbage in it, you know, hay and dirt, but it's a pretty low percentage. I had thought once that would be an excellent project for the 4-H club to do around here, but we haven't got very far with them. The problem with it is storing it. You can get a pretty good price out of it if you ship a truckload at a time. But having the space to store a truckload of twine is premium, and we don't have that. So we just take it to the landfill.
Can we burn it?
I'm going to say no. What the individual rancher does is their deal, but as a former air quality regulator, I would say no.
I can read between the lines there, you know?
Yeah, I don't think burning it isn't the option, but, because it is plastic. We did haul a load of plastic down to Belgrade on Friday. About 1.5 tons worth of plastic in that compactor box we have, which is, it was 2.5 months worth of collection.
So like plastic garbage sacks?
Bottles mostly,
Oh, okay.
bottles and containers. The problem with that is the longshoreman union strike is still lingering out there. They've settled and they've started back to work, but there's a backlog of getting things on ships. So recycle markets are terrible right now. Cardboard, anything from cardboard to plastic. I'll be surprised if I don't get a bill for handling this plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the price he quoted me was $25 a ton, which we pay $29 a ton to haul it to a landfill, so we save $4 a ton. But he said his cost to bale it is about $100 a ton. So what they're doing is baling it and stockpiling it, hoping the price comes up in the near future. He told me they have, at their facility, they've got 1,400 bales of cardboard sitting there waiting to go somewhere, just waiting for the price to come up. We shipped cardboard, it's been probably a month ago. We got $30 a ton out of it, which is low. But at least we didn't have to haul it to the landfill.
And that kind of saved us money there too.
Yeah, we didn't have to pay any freight on it, so that was the saving grace there. It was $30 a ton into our revenue. If you factor in the labor it costs to bale it, we probably lost money on that too. But you have to factor in labor to take it to the landfill too, so. And the truckload of cardboard is about, a full semi-trailer full of garbage to a landfill, so it's about washed there.
6 of one, half a dozen the other, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But not putting it in the landfill will save us down the road,
True.
because you fill your landfill up, then
Then where are you gonna go?
you're gonna pay.
Mhm. And you're gonna have some angry citizens because NIMBY comes into play.
It's all part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That landfill at Logan is just amazing to me. I mean, it's gonna be a mountain pretty soon.
That's how the East Coast gets their mountains.
Is-
They've actually built ski hills on landfills. on the East
Really?
Coast.
Serious?
Yeah.
Whoa. I guess that's being innovative, huh?
You got it there, you might as well do something worthwhile with it, so
Right?
try to make them pretty.
I'll learn something new.
Anything else?
No.
Equipment's all okay?
As far as I know, yes. What I started today has started and run.
That's all we ask.
Yes. About the time I say everything's fine, it won't be.
Yeah, jinx.
Mr. Janet, I'd like to tell the solid waste board, we think you guys are doing great.
Okay.
Brian is phenomenal. So, keep up the great work.
Ditto.
Okay, I will take this down to the revenue folks and see if that makes them happy or if we have to more work
Okay.
Keep us there.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, gentlemen. And Ruth.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'm cleaning up the Western Road this week, and I'm anticipating probably 6 or 7 more pickup loads to the transfer station in Winston. Will that have a significant impact on it?
We'd rather have you take that, transfer
Maybe, okay, there's a pile up there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Just give me a call. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not full. There's lots of room in there.
Okay, we're a little past public hearing. So we'll close this portion of the meeting. and open for public hearing on 3 different resolutions.
Can you tell us what they are, please?
Yes. One resolution is for establishing hours of operation for Broadwater County offices.
And that is
You
8 to 12 and 1 to 5?
you want me to read all this? I guess on the hours, I'll read just on the hour part. Broadwater County incorporates county elected officials, establish regular office hours for county office to be open to the general public from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and shall be closed on all legal holidays.
Okay.
I don't think we have to read all the rest of it. And this is to establish the meeting dates of the Broadwater County Commission. And I'll read this portion of it. Now therefore be resolved, the commission will hold their regular meeting as follows. Every Monday, except in the case of a holiday. If the regularly scheduled Monday meeting day is a holiday, the meeting shall be held on the Tuesday following the holiday. Every Wednesday, every month as needed, except in the case of a holiday. All meetings will begin at 10 a.m. and will be held in Broadwater County Courthouse, 515 Broadway, Townsend, Montana.
Franklin, you have an old resolution there, and just left to get the new one that was printed. The information is the same, it's just worded more clearly.
And another resolution is to establish mileage, lodging, and per diem rates for Broadwater County business travel. Whereas the Broadwater County Commission wishes to adopt a resolution establishing mileage, lodging, and per diem rates for business travel in accordance with 2-18-501 MCA and 2-18-502 MCA. Now therefore be resolved, the commission will adhere to mileage, lodging, and per diem rates as set by the state of Montana for state employees.
That's the same as Feds, isn't it?
Pardon?
That's the same as the Feds, isn't it?
I think so. I think that's what the state pretty much goes on. Is there any comments on any of this?
Can we wait just a minute? I want to see what the wording is and what to get the good one.
Those were in our office just for the public to see the last couple of weeks. Thanks, Amy.
These are the copies that have been in my office since you advertised.
Question?
Go ahead.
What is the difference between the old one you're reading off of and the new one?
I don't know. I didn't know there was any,
The difference, first of all, is the date. You know, the original said January, now we're in March.
Okay.
So that change was made, and also the Wednesday meetings. It was a little cumbersome in the wording previously, so it was changed prior to being advertised to, however it's stated.
I believe it says every Wednesdays is needed, I believe, if you look.
oh, I'll just read that part off again. Then every Monday except in the case of holiday, if the regular scheduled Monday meeting day is a holiday, the meeting will be held on the Tuesday following the holiday. Every Wednesday as needed. All meetings will begin at 10 a.m. will be held in Broadwater County Courthouse, 515 Broadway, Townsend, Montana.
What about the Wednesday meetings? So the old language you seem to stumble over something in the old language. Was that a misprint in the old language? What does the new language say
That's what I just read.
concerning Wednesday?
The what?
Concerning the Wednesday meetings. You read the Monday meetings.
Every Wednesday as needed is what it says.
Okay, thank you.
And the other one was the same thing, except it just said every Wednesday, every month as needed, except in the case of a holiday. That's the only difference, that part of a holiday wasn't on this other one. Is there any other comments? No, we'll close this. Go ahead.
You didn't read the one on the per diem?
I thought I
It
read
did
that.
actually when you were gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought I did. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. You had me confused, I thought maybe I hadn't. closed, and we go back to our regular scheduled meeting.
We can probably do mail, 5 minutes till the egg gets here.
While you're looking for mail, Elaine, you weren't here last week, but the downstairs office room was used by Denning and Downey to do their annual audit. And today it's being used by Linda Southall to do some work with the Arbor Day. So, just thought I'd let you know.
Good, yeah.
Here's, what needs a signature on is for Commissioner's Pills.
This is actually water, sewer, and garbage for the ambulance building.
And here's one for Bella Reporter, $36 looks like. Okay, and here's one for Tom Budowitz for the fees for Rolling Glen Ranch.
Sir, I have to tell you, you know what happens at legislature if your cell phone goes off?
I'm sorry, I was
I know.
running late. I normally turn it off before I come in, but I forgot about it because I come in late.
At legislature, they make you buy treats for everybody for the next day.
Okay, okay.
And we're not expecting that, I just had to give you a hard time.
Oh, yes, we are. It's easy for me to say, Todd, because my phone went off too.
This one's yours.
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe I got yours in before. Here's that rural Montana, you probably get that.
I get it.
I get two.
Do I see some minutes in here?
Oh, here we go. Minutes as mail on March 2nd meetings. Is there any additions or corrections to the March 2nd, 2015 minutes?
Move to adopt as submitted.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second to adopt the meeting minutes on March 2nd. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I gotta sign first.
Morning, guys.
How you doing?
Not too bad. It's Monday.
So, when does Jessberger come home?
We got our paperwork today, so we're gonna try to get him on Con Air. So,
Con Air.
well, it's called Justice Flight, but the marshals can fly him for $2,087, and so I can't send two guys down and all that for.
That's a long way to drive.
Well, I was gonna fly him down and fly him back, but, 'cause I'd have to put him in Warm Springs if they had to sit in a car for 5 days with Jessberger, so, I think the cheapest way is gonna be put him on the marshals, and they'll fly him either to Billings, Helmer, or Great Falls, and we'll just
Why don't you
pick
have
him
the
up.
dog catcher bring him back?
Well, hopefully he's supposed to be out catching dogs, but, yeah, so hopefully we'll have him hopefully, but we have to have him picked up by the 20th, so
Good.
hopefully he'll be here by then, so.
Try the horse catcher.
Oh, I don't wanna deal any more horses. It's funny though, they got caught, I was telling the folks down at the city hall days, is Ocala, Florida is the horse capital of the world. And it's where all the ritzy people go to train their horses. I thought, how appropriate, you get caught in Ocala, Florida, and you're there, you're running from abusing horses. So I thought it was pretty ironic.
Pretty appropriate, huh?
Yeah, so, yeah, life's good, Bill, so. But he signed his waiver, he's like, yeah, I'll come back, so we don't have to fight it.
What about the wife? You don't have to bring her, do you?
No, she doesn't.
That's
The new wife, she doesn't, yeah. She's just I would say an innocent victim to an extent, but she probably doesn't know everything that's going on with him.
Neither did his dad, according to TV.
No, and his stepmom's the one I talked to, and she was pretty irate, so.
Can't you at least get him back here and have him feed the animals?
That would be perfect, I would be happy with that, so we're back into worming season again, so I'm just like, yeah, but,
Well, then pretty soon it'll be shots for,
huh?
pretty soon it'll be shots for West Nile and all.
Mhm. You know, so hopefully Corey's doing good. He's on the ball. He's making some forward progress. So hopefully hopefully the light's still distant, but at least it's somewhat noticeable, unlike it was before. With Jess Berker being gone, there was no light at the end of the tunnel for us. So at least we have some.
There's hope now.
Yeah, there is. So, but all's good.
How are the horses doing?
Oh, they're getting sassy. No, I shaved the colt this weekend. I had to shave his hooves, and after I got done, he stood up on his hind legs and pawed at me a couple times.
What are you gonna do with the horses? What happens to them?
Well, sell them, adopt them,
Sell them, adopt them?
yeah. As long as we get rid of them, so. But, yeah,
I
they're,
want to tell my wife about that, she wants a horse.
got quite a variety.
Do you?
Yes, we do.
Lots of different colors.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
See you guys.
See ya.
Move on. Just a little behind schedule, not too bad. Nicole Brown, County Planner, County Board.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jill.
I just compiled this all into one list for you. Thank you. Got here. There you are. You're welcome. So I'll just go down this list. These are all of the vacancies. These notices ran in the newspaper for 2 weeks. And all of the information on these positions went to each of the boards. They chose the folks that you see in the parentheses there that were selected by these boards. So now this is just the formal process for the commission to adopt them. So airport board still has 2 vacancies, and neither of those have been filled. I know that one of them, I think 2 of them actually are current board members, but they haven't submitted their letters, so.
That's a 5-person board, right?
Correct.
Do you know if it's the county or the city appointments that are empty at this point?
Al Irvin, and so I don't know if these are city or
County.
Alice County, okay. And then I have a Steve, but no last name.
I emailed you his last name, didn't I? I can send that to you
If
again.
you did, I
Okay,
somehow either buried it, deleted it, missed it.
all right, I'll
Sorry.
get that to you
Okay.
again.
And I know that Al was gone for some time with Joyce, and so I was actually, if you think it's appropriate, I don't think there's a problem with me telling Joyce that Al needs to write a letter if he wants to stay on the board. I think it's a small enough community that you go about these things however possible, because I don't have Al's number, but, so I think that one would be pretty simple to fill. So those are the 2 vacancies. I guess I shouldn't say they're really vacancies, they're just 2 expired terms.
Okay.
So those ones should be easy to fill if both of those gentlemen still want to stay on the board. Trust board, there are 2 voting positions. There were 2 voting positions, and they were filled by Kim Martinson and Steve McCullough. 3 non-voting positions, 2 filled, 1 vacancy. Bill Hubbard would like to be a voting member if ever possible. I would also like the commission to allow me to sit as a non-voting member on the trust board.
Also move.
They meet once a month for an hour, I think, from 11 to 12. And I think it would just fit. Planning
I think that'd
board.
be fine. I don't think we need a motion. I think we just agree.
Okay.
Actually, we do.
At the end, do you want to do them all as one motion, or would you like me to pause after each of these boards?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Just one big motion? Okay, perfect. Compensation board, 3 elected positions available. I emailed all of the elected officials in the county. I received 2 responses back, so I still have 1 vacancy. So Val Hornsfeld and Doug Ellis said they would serve on the compensation board in the elected position. there are 2 citizen positions available as well, and still 2 vacancies. So, didn't get any interest on that one. Tax Appeal Board, there was one vacancy, and it was filled by Leonard Joffrey. Fair Board had 1 vacancy, filled by Vince Thompson. And by these vacancies, also, I just want to reiterate that that doesn't mean that there was actually an empty position there. Some of these were reappointments.
The term was coming up.
Yep, but I didn't separate that out for the purpose of this. Mosquito Board, the Townsend Mosquito Board, there's 1 vacancy still, so it's currently a 1-member board. The Three Forks Mosquito Board, I believe there are 2 vacancies. I couldn't find any record of ever having positions there. I just seemingly, there would have to be more than 1 person, so I just put 2 vacancies with a question
Who
mark.
was on it for?
Previously.
Larry Phyllis.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, he'd know for sure.
Well,
He's been on that board for,
after,
yeah, 20, 30 years, literally.
Okay. But I didn't get any interest in that board, so it still has vacancies on that board.
Nicole, I would suggest calling Mr. Phillips.
And naming them, okay, perfect, I'll do that. Where was that? Museum Board, there was 3 vacancies, and they were filled by Paul Putz, Connie Schindel, and John Stoner. Planning Board had 2 vacancies, 2 positions filled by Chuck Harvey and Melissa Tudor. TV Board, again, I don't know how many members this TV Board
3.
was, historically 3, okay. But I didn't receive any interest on that board. The Weed Board, 3 vacancies and all 3 positions filled by Donald Hedinger, Joe Gill, and John Barrett. Parks and Rec Board had 3 voting vacancies. Well, it should be 3, I'm sorry. 3 of them were filled by Mike Millay, Jen Olinger, and Dallas Steele. Board of Health, there was 1 vacancy, and that's still waiting to be filled.
one thing with these mosquito boards, if we don't have anybody to fill these, think of the TV board. If we don't have any citizens that volunteer to be on, serve on these boards, that falls to us.
Right.
We become the mosquito board, both for Townsend and Three Forks. And for, or for Three Forks, we'd be the Broadwater County representatives, and the TV board still. So I think we need to step in, the commission, and do what we can to fill some of these vacancies. Because I think it's better representation for the citizens, to have citizens serve on citizen boards, and for the commission not to be commissioners and serving on all these boards. It's getting a little bit too dictatorial, in my opinion. So,
And
just
it
bring
is.
that up, yeah. Where that came from was knowing that the mosquito board didn't have enough people in it. There's 2 on a 5-member board. And so my question was, well, can we even levy the voted for taxes to cover that? That's how the law gets that done, is the commissioners take that position, those positions. So, we've got some work to do, I think, on this.
Would you like me to re-advertise for these ones that have vacancies still?
I
I
don't,
don't know if it's worth it. I hate to say that, but
How about just a newspaper article?
I did write a letter to the editor too, and I should have said that, but I wrote a letter to the editor. So it ran for 1 week in the legal section. The next week I wrote a letter to the editor and had it in the legal section. And I can't say that any of these positions that were filled were because of that, because of either the legal notice or the letter to the editor. One of them may have been Dallas Steele, and just because his letter came via mail leads me to think that maybe it was because of that, but I can't say for sure. But all of the other ones I know were either word of mouth,
or
Your
just,
previous.
Right, yeah, just re-upping their terms, so.
one thing I'm wondering about is our new community newsletter. It goes to every box holder.
Right,
I wonder if we couldn't do a big box advertising, it wouldn't cost us anything also, and advertise, what our needs are on the boards, maybe a short synopsis of what they do and why they're important, and see if we can't get somebody that way.
you know, that's a good idea, because actually, the newsletter, I'm gonna just, 30 seconds here. Is ready to be printed, we have the bulk mailing permit, weed board member. The weed board actually wrote an article, one of the members resigned from the board before it was printed. So now I've had to pull that out, waiting for him to write another letter with the new members, but he wanted to be sure that they were actual new members, you know, so it was sort of cart before the horse. I wonder if I could pull a weed board letter and put in boards. And then it would be printed. Every time I think I'm ready to hit print, there's something that stops, but
Yeah,
it's a very, very big thing that's looming over me that I just wanna get it done, I wanna get it printed and out there, so maybe I could do that, and on the newsletter committee, as well, I mean, if, you know, if that makes sense, just to pull the weed board letter, give them some time to write it, obviously, I don't think it'll take them too long, but, and we can put in something about boards.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, maybe that's a good idea, and you're right, it will go to every house, whether they read it or not is up to them, but at
right,
least we get it in their hands.
yeah, and if we can maybe box it or something,
Yeah.
so it just kinda
Mm-hmm.
jumps out at people.
Yeah,
that might put the 3/4 in.
right, yeah, that's true,
Yeah,
Yeah. okay, I'll work on that today,
all right.
Okay, we leave that here then.
perfect, okay.
Roger?
Question. Does the county, or has the county in the past, or does it now, does it ever have a volunteer appreciation dinner, a volunteer appreciation day, little certificates telling the volunteers how much they're appreciated? There are some things to do. I mean, being serving on boards, I've served on gobs and gobs of boards, and it's just no fun, we all know that. But just to let these people know how much they're appreciated, may be something that would help others volunteer for the position. And another suggestion that I've seen other boards do, especially church boards that are having trouble getting people to serve, is just your board members, ask them if they know anybody who might be interested.
I think that's kind of,
Yeah, I think that, excuse me, that's happened, I know with some of these. But it doesn't hurt to remind them. I think that the board appreciation thing is a good idea.
We do the certificate and the thank you letter. But I think maybe, you know, like you said, maybe some kind of a dinner, we've had, department heads have an appreciation dinner on their own. And maybe that's a better way to do it, keep the camaraderie, short, but to open the door for more people, more department heads, to be able to do that. Those without a department head could fall on the commission to have a community appreciation dinner of our employees, or volunteers.
Well, then, it comes to mind, I mean, if the weather's gonna be nice, we can never guarantee that, but what's wrong with doing barbecue in the park?
That's a great idea.
You
Yeah,
know, I mean,
yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. And it can be done relatively expensively too.
Right.
Yeah.
Another suggestion, invite the county employees to the barbecue that work with these volunteer boards.
Yeah.
And have all volunteer boards there so they feel like they're coming together in a cohesive manner, give them support, direction.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
would you kind of let you go ahead with that stuff?
Okay, definitely.
Actually,
All right, so first of all, I'll get it into the newsletter, and then, I may talk to, I don't know that I did, yeah. I'll work out the details and barbecue of some sort, but I think that's a good idea. And I think it's nice to have them all together too, because you may get someone from another board, maybe a spouse or somebody, you know, they kind of get stuck in their own way and say, okay, well, I'm serving on the fair board, and that's it. But sometimes just to expand those horizons. I mean, it's a very needed position, these volunteers, and I realize it's thankless, but it's rewarding, I think, you know, I think it's a great thing, it's a great experience. But maybe if they saw some of these other positions too, and the work the other boards were doing, might kind of expand their horizons a bit, so yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Also, two other boards to add to your article. The Local Advisory Council for Mental Health is looking for members and specifically clients,
Okay.
and client family members.
Is this an existing board? And I just missed it, okay.
Right, it's new actually,
Oh,
so
okay.
it wasn't you. Mike Stevenson is the chairman.
Mhm.
I can get you his phone number and email.
Perfect, okay.
And then the other one is the investment board. We approved a resolution for that, and it just hasn't gotten done yet. So if you could add that, and then there's a certain criteria of members on that board,
Okay.
and they would work with Doug, the treasurer, on the investments for the county.
Oh, perfect.
Well, and it needs to be somebody from the school. School has to be represented too.
Right, right.
Oh, can I take it? I'll bring it back. I'll just take a copy of it. You have it? Oh, perfect. Okay.
Spells out specifically who needs to be
Who
on.
needs to know? Okay. Great.
And, you know, if we could get some more interest on the trust board, anytime there's a board where there's more people interested, I think it would be cool to increase the number of, from 5 to 7. And then, what's the other one? I think that's it at this point. There was talk about decreasing the mosquito board to 3. I think keeping that at 5 is important.
Mosquito, okay.
Yeah. So with that, I would move that we reappoint to the trust board as voting members for 3-year terms each, Kim Markinson and Steve McCullough. And for 1 term each, non-voting members, Bill Hubbard and Nicole Brown.
I'll second that motion.
Are we gonna do these all as one? Or do you wanna do each one separate like this?
I'm fine either way.
Yeah, if you want to do them separately, then I can make sure that I'm getting the
Okay.
correct years too. I'll have them on the
Okay,
sheet.
move the second on the trust board. Kim Martins and Steve McCullough, and Bill Hubbard and Nicole Brown as non-voting. All in favor?
Aye.
For the specified terms, aye.
Motion passed.
So then for the compensation board, these terms are based on elections at this point, because we only have elected officials who've put in. But I move that we appoint Val Hornsfeld and Doug Ellis, clerk of court and clerk of court and treasurer.
Second.
Move the second, we appoint Val Hornsfield and Doug Ellis on the compensation board. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
For the tax appeal board, Leonard Jeffrey for 3-year term.
Second.
Move the second, Leonard Humphrey for the tax appeal board.
Who else is on that board?
Bill Hubbard and Nancy Mayer.
Who was it?
Nancy Mayer? She lives in Springville.
Okay, motion on the floor to, move the second for to fill Leonard Humphrey in the tax appeal board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, for the terms specified. Fair board, move to appoint Vince Thompson for a 3-year term.
Second.
Move the second, Vince Thompson for 3-year on the fair board. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. The SU board, we're skipping over through first. Museum, oh, you make it, go ahead.
for the mosquito board for Townsend, move to appoint the commissioners temporarily until those vacancies can be filled.
Second.
Move and second to Commissioner take over the mosquito board. All in favor?
I,
Motion passed.
I think it's really important that we work hard to get some people from in town because they're very much affected.
I agree.
Well, all three of us are out of town.
Right, right, and out of the district. Well, I think you're in it, but I'm
I'm
not.
in the district, yeah.
And from the amendment to my motion, it should state per MCA, and I can get you the code if you'd like. Three Forks, we've just had one. I would move that, until someone can be found to fill that position, that, Commissioner Slivka take that as it is his district.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, move and second that Slivka takes the vacancy on the mosquito board at Three Forks. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Motion passed.
move to appoint Paul Putz and John Stoner to 3-year terms, and Connie Schindel to a 2-year term in the interest of staggering and based on seniority.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Motion to fill 3 vacancies, Paul Putz, Connie Shindle, and John Stoner on the museum board. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Motion passed.
move to appoint Chuck Harvey to a 2-year term on the planning board and Melissa Toomer to a 1-year term, as she is new.
Did you second it?
I did.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Pardon me. If I just kind of blush, so you'll know. Sorry.
Okay, on the planning board, Chuck Harvey for a 2-year term, Melissa Termler for a 1 year. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
I think it needs to be noted, that the reason for the 1 year on Melissa is because she's new. And we've always done that with new board members. They do 1 year and see if they like it or we like them, I guess.
TV board move to reappoint the commissioners until that board can be filled with citizen members. Hopefully that's a temporary appointment.
Second.
Move the second to Commissioner to take care of the TV board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Weed board move to appoint Don Hedinger and John Ferret for each 3-year terms, and Joe Gill to a 1-year term as he is new.
Second.
Weed board, Don Henninger and John Fair, 3-year terms, Joe Gill for a 1-year term. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Move to appoint for the Parks and Rec Board, Mike Noe, Jennifer Ollinger, and Dallas Dio, each to 1-year terms.
Second.
Move the second. Parks and Rec Board, Mike Delay, Jennifer Ollinger, and Dallas Dio, all for 1-year terms. All in favor?
Aye.
Make you do it. Aye.
Motion passed.
And, Board of Health. What are we on that one?
We're already there.
We're already there.
You're already on that board as support, and so there's presently 1 actual member on this board.
And who is it?
Mrs., I'm gonna butcher her last name, Mrs. K. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I knew that I would not say that right if I wasn't looking at it.
Actually, her term is up last year. Did she turn in a letter? Looks like she and Margie are both up.
Oh, the same, okay, you're right, she did not turn in a letter. I did talk to Judy about that, I have been talking to, Debbie Ruckles about that.
No.
Okay, perfect, I will call her. I only have her home phone number, but I will call her right away and get a letter, and I guess I just like often with Debbie.
Sure.
Sorry.
I'm also wondering too about recruiting purposes, maybe having a barbecue this spring
Mm-hmm.
for new and seasoned board members and try and get that out there that, yeah, put a little bit more emphasis on it.
sadly, 9 short.
Well, Nicole, I know this project is not an easy one. It's time consuming. It's a lot of little details swimming around. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. And if
That's
you
okay,
want-
go ahead, Don.
If you want any help with the letter or the article, I'm happy to help.
I probably will, by both of my team here and edits.
All right.
Perfect.
Thanks for the job you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not an easy one.
Interesting. I like the variety.
Thank you for your attitude. If you could get us a list of the people who came off of the boards too, we'll get those
Sure.
certificates and letters done for them.
Perfect, okay. And so, past practice, I assume that the commission writes a letter, which I'll write the letter and then you can have Franklin sign it, letting these folks know that they have been appointed to the boards. Is that correct? Has that been past practice?
It has been, but my only request would be, could you use the new letterhead, which has all 3 of our signatures on it?
Oh, perfect, okay. Yep, who has it? Do you have that?
I do.
Okay.
I can email it to you.
I'm gonna send you a reminder email because I know you've got a lot going on today of
Perfect.
the things that I need to email back. So
Okay.
don't be offended when you see that.
No, I will appreciate it. Include Steve's last name.
Yep, Steve.
All right.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nicole. Job well done.
Do you want me to email it?
Yes, you have my email.
I do.
Mike?
Morning, how you doing?
We could jump on real quick on this, we're just ahead of, we're running a little behind, Mike.
Well, that's fine, I'll wait.
On the public process, policy, decision.
I'll make a motion to grant approval to all 3 of those hearings. Commission, meeting day, office hours, county per diem.
Oh, that's later. That's the 1:30.
Oh, okay, sorry. I jumped quick.
Yeah, she'll get done faster. Okay.
Clean this up quick.
Wayne, you have something?
I just want to, I know you guys got an agenda, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to let the commission know that we were doing the lease program with Towns and Marinas for the 4-wheelers, and we've put in claims to purchase the leased ones. Brian has now extended a lease program to us for a 6-seater Viking, and so that's what we're gonna go with in our lease program. So if you see it come up on the assets list, I put another claim in. He offered me a pretty good deal on another 4-wheeler to get rid of that green machine that barely runs half the time. And so I put another claim in to purchase this other 4-wheeler, so we'll have 2 new 4-wheelers, and then we're gonna have a 6-seater Viking that we'll lease through him every 6 months, just like we have on the 4-wheelers. It's a bigger machine. Obviously, we can tote 6 people around instead of 1, and so that's where we're at. I just want to let you guys know this is kind of the direction that I've gone with the search and rescues. We were at 26 members. I lost one. He bought a place over in Lewistown, so he left. So we're down to 25. But that's where we're at for numbers and everything. So
Is a Viking like a gator?
it's like a Rhino. I'll be honest with you, it's like a small SUV. It's like a little over 6 feet tall, has 6 seats, windshield, it's got a bed on the back. It's a big machine, so, yeah, it should be capable for what we need it for, so.
Great.
I just wanna let you guys know, so there wasn't any surprises, so, okay? I didn't mean to interrupt your meeting, I figured you guys should know, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
This is from Dan Clark at the local government center. Franklin has had that since the 20th of February when we had our training, so about, what's that, 3 weeks? And so the template for that one, I believe, is a solid sewer and water district. So I emailed him after the training and said, can you send me one for county commissioners? He said it's pretty much the same. He did email it, and what you do is you plug in Broadwater County specific. So, that's what we have. This was brought up last week and tabled, the Broadwater County Public Process Policy. And what it is general provisions on why we meet, what the laws are that determine how our meetings are conducted, public participation. It's got the parameters for how we hear that so that it is constructive and civil. Procedures, that would be quorum and agenda preparation, and a lot of that comes from the Broadwater County Open Meeting Policy. Rules for commissioner participation, and that goes again to civility, and keeping the dialogue open, making sure that we debate in public over issues so the public knows what we're thinking and the justifications for our decisions. Presentations to the commission, this would be from the public again so that they know the parameters. Public hearings, it spells out how those work, both for the commission and for the public. Guide for public participation, same thing again. Decorum, again, in keeping with the open meeting policy and civility, and ordinances and resolutions. We don't have a lot of ordinances, but we do have a lot of resolutions. The two are slightly different, and they're spelled out differently there. So again, this is from the local government center.
I would
and,
make a motion, oops, I'm sorry.
No, thank you.
I would make a motion that we adopt this policy. Pardon me.
And I will second the motion.
On discussion, I showed one of your ex-state employee, and his comment was, he says, you don't want these things so detailed. He says, if there's a suit comes up, he says, an attorney just will tear you up on it. And so I give it to Corey and asked him, and he was gonna look, he thought most of it was on statutes anyway, but he was gonna look through it and make a recommendation.
Did you hear back from me?
No, I haven't heard back.
I did send it to Corey 2 weeks ago. Again, this is a template from the local government center. The reason why they suggest that we have these policies is for consistency. You shouldn't have your meeting characteristics and how things are done changing from chairman to chairman, from commission to commission. It should be consistent year after year after year. So,
I guess I'll pull back my motion until we can talk to Corey later today.
Okay, we'll table it till we get back from Corey. Meantime, I guess, Mike, Congy, Mountain DS, disaster mitigation grant.
Morning, Commissioner, Mike Conkey for the record.
Morning, Michael.
For the recording.
Morning.
I'm gonna hand a little, not a little, like I always do.
thank you.
Sorry.
There you go, Lynn.
Got additional copies for them. Montana DES called this morning about 8:05 and said they're not gonna show up, but that's okay. I said we can work with that. What we did is last year we applied for a grant to update our pre-disaster mitigation, or PDM. We have to have that, it's kind of required if we want to participate in like the Deep Creek flood mitigation project, and then the Flynn Lane, Dry Creek, and then to get federal funds on anything, like radials or anything. So we have to have one of those updated every 5 years, and ours was last done in June 29th. So we applied, I think Laura signed the original application, I brought it before the commission at that time. And we've been awarded that now. I think I emailed you some of the stuff. Here is copies of our letter that we got from Montana DES. There's 2 copies there.
Thank you.
And one for the press. I got a couple extras. So I just kind of want to go through that. They were going to be here, Kent Atwood and Nadine Wadsworth. They were going to show up today. She has a child that's, I guess, got real sick, the emergency room, so we canceled out for today. And I said, that's no problem. This is a grant that we have until September of 2016. We're going to contract this out with an independent contractor. There's several different firms, that one in Helena, one in Bozeman, and actually one in North Dakota, that have been contacted me to kind of like bid on this stuff. And what I'd like to do is have the commission accept it today And then we can go ahead and proceed with getting some requests for proposals from the various contractors. And eventually we're going to, select one that will have a contract with that person. This is a 75% federal match. We took $25,000 in federal money, and we have a local share of about $8,333. Mia helped me prepare this. She's my grant writer, did a good job. We hope to pick up most of this as in-kind match. Probably don't need much cash money at all. Trying to prepare for that. Total cost is going to be $33,000. I was surprised that they, Montana DES, thought it was going to cost that much money. I'm from a rural community, we all are, a farmer. I thought it was a lot of money, these contractors. And I have been talking to one of them, Brett Lloyd over in Helen, Sparta Consulting Services. He did the one, or doing the one for Lewis Clark County. Would like to do ours. I don't know, this federal money is, I don't want to spend a lot of money. But anyway, it's either here or there. That's how much money we got. And I gave you all copies of the letters. I think I sent them out last Friday. Then we have a state and local disaster assistance hazard mitigation grant agreement to be signed today. If that's the will of the commission. Any questions on it? I hope to answer those best I could. I was hoping the state was going to be here. I'll just answer your question. But we got to move on sometime.
Right.
These are actually a really good way of addressing issues that, in a lot of ways, come about at no fault to our local taxpayers. And so it does seem right that we get a grant to help with the cost of them. So with that being said, I will move that we sign the state local disaster assistance agreement hazard mitigation grant program.
I'll second the motion.
Move the second. The motion. I hope you got it all, Ann, because I can't repeat it all. And
You can just read it at the top.
which topic? Anyway,
I think it's this one right here, Franklin. Page 2. There you go.
Oh,
I
this
think it's that one, right? I think that's what Laura meant.
okay, I assume this is the motion. Agreement to the state of Montana. And effective the date signed by that shall apply to all pre-disaster mitigation funds provided through the state.
Just title probably is all you need to read.
So state local disaster assistance agreement, hazard mitigation grant program.
Yeah.
That's it, okay.
Second the motion.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
That motion is carried. Do you?
I have a copy for you to sign, Commissioner. I'll have that scanned and send it to them. I'll email it to them today. Next item on my agenda there is, when I got this job, I was appointed the temporary interim DES coordinator. I thought I was gonna have 2 deputies. And Julie's one of my deputies, and Virginia is one of her deputies. And of course, you know, Virginia is down to private sector out of state government, county government. So I have visited with Nicole Brown and I requested that if she would be interested in being one of my deputies, we're gonna go over to Helena, Fort Harrison. Next week on Tuesday and Wednesdays for a new DES coordinator workshop. They have them every year. And I've asked Julie and Nicole to go with me, if that's okay with the commission. You choose to appoint her. I'd like to get a 3rd deputy DES coordinator to help out. Because we activate the emergency operations center. I'm out of town this weekend. Sunday I was out of town. Usually I tell somebody. And they know that I'm out. I need to avoid cell coverage to cover it for me. And so I think she would be very good. Usually we don't pay that person's salary, although I have money in my budget for our travel and training. Training, anything we go to, we cover the registration and per diem and the motel we stay overnight, stuff like that. Next week we're just gonna take the Explorer over, drive over in the morning and come back the next day. Be a good opportunity for her to learn the Montana DES program and what's expected from the coordinators.
That's a very good choice.
And incidentally, now this position under state law is a sworn position. It comes from the old civil defense law in the state of Montana during the Cold War out in the 50s. And whoever is appointed DES coordinator has to go downstairs with the clerk and recorder office. You swear to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You swear to that.
So help me God.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Clerk and recorder. Any discussion, then I guess I'd be happy to answer your question.
I have a couple. Nicole, are you okay with this? I thought so. You and I talked a little bit about
I did.
this, and, I understand it's not a paid position. The planning department has not had a lot of subdivisions in it. If this ends up being a lot of hours, we may ask you to help pay for some of Nicole's time, from the DES budget. If it's just a few hours, can your budget handle that? Is this a concern to you at all? Okay.
Next
All right,
fiscal
you'll let
year,
us know if it becomes, okay,
next budget year, I'd like to put something in to address that problem.
okay.
I don't have anything this year in there, because, you know, both Virginia and Julie were both full-time county employees. She was, I guess, actually extinct service employee at one time.
Yeah.
And that was part of her mission, they didn't care. Anyway, we'll have to put some in the budget for that, trust actually.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
Do you want a motion?
I think you need a motion, it needs to be in the record that you've appointed her, and we need to send a letter to Montana DES that she's one of the deputies. And then she needs to go downstairs, get sworn in shortly after this.
Also move.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded, Nicole be appointed to, as a
Deputy DES coordinator.
Deputy DES coordinator. Any other discussion? We'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Just go down and tell them what you need. I'll be down in a minute. And the next item is, several years ago, we bought some two-way radios and from this Homeland Security grant. And those were all Motorola's, and we got software package, and you remember Brandon Flynn kind of handles that, does the training for the radios, and the ambulance crew, and we ordered this last bunch of mobile radios, they wanted the capability to page, to receive pages on those radios. They wanted a smaller radio, I was gonna bring one with me, I forgot to take that this morning. They wanted a smaller radio, excuse me. And so we got those radios, they kind of like them, but if we need to change some software programming, buttons and things, lights are on and things, we need some software to do that, just like we did with the other radios. And Brandon has agreed to coordinate that for the county, kind of our communications unit leader. He's had training for search and rescue, he's had training for EMT, as well as fire department. And he's available to, tinker with the radios for law enforcement if they want to. The problem is they bought a different model of a radio than what we've had, so we need to buy another software package. And I got a quote from Capital Communications for about $495. $458.50. Glad. Good thing I write things down. And I'd like to fund that through pay for that out of the CIP for interoperability funds, and that's the balance that we have. And we did that earlier, 2 years ago, I guess, or a year ago.
I'll make a motion to give Mike the authority to go ahead and do this.
I agree, then specifically taking the money to pay for the software from the CIP.
Move and second, Mike, take charge of this, the CIP program. All in favor?
No, not take charge of the CIP program, that's our job.
Right.
But we authorize him to pay for the software from the interoperability CIP.
Right.
Okay.
That's the motion.
It's your fund, I don't have any authority to spend any money, but I can put in, that's what I'm seeking.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Commissioners. Next item, I'm really concerned about the Vulcan oil coming through our community, rail cars. And there was just another one over the weekend in Illinois that racked out the road there and exploded. So I want to address that, and Montana DES has a grant opportunity for us to look at that, to train our firefighters and EMTs and law enforcement. So what I'm proposing, the end of this week, on the 13th, there's an opened application for submit a grant. They have some money available for the different counties and Indian tribes to submit. And we're putting together with Mia a grant application. And just gonna inform you that we're not ready for anybody to sign that grant application. It's a 25 match. I'm looking at about $8,000. Most of that money will be, we're gonna look at, first of all, what are the hazards traveling on the rails? We also have the Yellowstone pipeline. We know the hazards there, gasoline and diesel and jet fuel that goes through that. Both of the railroad and the pipeline is down here, south end of the county by the Missouri River. And if anything happens in that river, that's gonna be a big, we're gonna have to do some deployment booms and stuff. We are the first responders. Our county fire department, sheriff's office, EMTs are the first responder. It's the responsibility of the railroad company or the pipeline to come in and take that over, and cover all costs for recovery, all damages, because they are the responsible party under federal and state law. But that first several hours, first 24 hours, it's us. You know, how long it takes people to get here. You know, the railroad will send somebody over from Helena probably within an hour. But by the time they get anybody crews here, it'll probably be 8, 10, 12 hours later. So we want to make sure we have our people trained up, we have a good response man. What I want to do with this grant is I want to train people, fire, ambulance, law enforcement, on hazmat awareness. Fire department, I want to take them to the next level for operations, emergency operations, how to respond. These are all OSHA required classes, working in Montana. Fire Service Academy in Great Falls, put this training on, certified training, OSHA required training, and then we'll have some command training. Then we want to have an all-agency, interagency tabletop exercise on one or two of these incidents. Kind of talk through just like we did on Yellowstone Pipeline. And then we want to actually go out and do some field exercises. We think we can cover it with about $8,000. And I think most of the 25% non-federal match, I think we just use volunteer time, in-kind match. I don't think we need cash for this. That's one of the things I'm working on. The other thing I'm working on, any questions on that subject? We're not quite ready to submit that application yet. I'll be talking to probably the chairman later in this week. Might have to have him endorse something on that. Usually applications I sign, and usually they want one of my supervisors, which is the commissioner, to sign on that application. We have not get it yet. It'd be just like the pre-disaster mitigation. The commission has to accept that. So by making an application, they award it. And if you don't want it, we change our mind. We don't have to accept that. All we're doing is making an application for a grant on that. Any other questions on it?
I still think you should have a motion that the commission
Okay.
supports your applying, and
Excellent.
that covers Franklin for signing for the commission. So with that stated, I move that we support your application for a local hazardous materials response planning and training grant.
Second motion.
Okay, so move to second. That we go ahead, support DES to send in this grant application. Any, what's the other part of it?
That's okay.
That's good.
Just like you said.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, quickly, I know my time's up. We're working on the Emergency Operations Center 4-H. Corey has signed off on the agreement, the legal document. I'm gonna try to meet with the Rodeo Association. I think they have a meeting scheduled for tonight. If they have a quorum, I'll have to check with Vince, make sure that's on. And then on the 17th, I meet with the Fair Board. Then I wanna meet with the commission. Then I'll come back to the commissioners and be the final party to sign on it. We're also working on, with Corey, a contract with Townsend Electric for installation, an installation contract with Townsend Electric on that, and that's in the draft stage. The other thing, we remember after the March 2014 flood, we had to breach Flynn Lane to get the flood water through there, and that disrupted the bus routes. So there's a little bit of mitigation money resulting from the March 2014 flood, because the president declared a state of emergency in the state of Montana, and 17 counties, and Broadwater are one of those. So I'm working with Sean Higley on that. That's we're still in the process. I've sent some letters out. We got to get some feedback from Fish and Game, Montana Historical Preservation, Corps of Engineers, we'll kind of wait for all that. That's in progress, no action needed. I just want to remind you, on the 19th, LEPC